What's up, Womack Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of Aitch's third album, 4. Bit of a confusing title using 4 for the third album, but it's of course a Manchester reference. Aitch, famously a northern British rapper. I'd say the most significant one we have right now. Of course, everyone else we associate with London for the most part. And this is Aitch's first album since 2022, and it's been a bit of a quieter stretch for him in terms of solo music, but there's been some features, here and there. I think most notably, things kind of popped up with a seemingly brief beef with Central C, his fellow English rapper. Aitch putting out A Guy Called diss track in response to Central C making remarks regarding losing an award to Aitch and kind of disparaging him in the process. Either way, that beef seems to kind of come and go. And at this point, I think people who enjoy Aitch, I think we're certainly looking forward to this. He's become a very big artist in the UK and has, I think, demonstrated a lane for himself lately, being interested in sampling and more crossover type songs than just the traditional hard rapping style of things. But of course he is still very much about the bars as well, so kind of making a name for himself. And I don't think there's been much of an impression here in the States from Aitch all that much. Of course, we know Central C has blasted open the door when it comes to that for UK rap. We'll see if anyone can follow in his footsteps. Of course, I recently reviewed the AJ Tracy album, a close collaborator of Aitch. We'll see if Aitch, or AJ for that matter, can follow suit to some regard in the States. I would certainly root for it. Aitch's third album, 4, is another solid effort from the Manchester rapper. I don't know if anything on this necessarily grabbed me to the degree that the greatest songs he's made to this point have, such as Rain. However, he has some great features on this, but he's certainly still about his core ethos, which appears to be rapping hard and rapping about the pleasures of life in amusing ways. So if you're an Aitch fan, 4 is what you've been looking for. I just don't know if this necessarily takes Aitch to the next level or anything. First song, Clock the Game, I like that beat drop, the way it switches up. I think the chorus, though, just okay with that bass drum, but Aitch does give you a second flow halfway through the song, again, getting it right out in Front Street, what kind of rapper he is right away. I think Bounce has a fun beat, kind of like this electronic horn loop. I think the sex raps on this are a bit cringy. That's something he raps about a lot. I don't know if they necessarily work on this one. Coal for Body featuring Tiggs to Author. I thought this one was interesting because it's more of like a dance track with like this bass rhythm. I think it's all right. Till for Late, you have the feature from Poser, which I think his deep voice is amazing contrast with Aitch. I love that back and forth, with that bass underneath. And you compare that to the next track, Test, featuring AJ Tracy, of course. And again, like that contrast really stands out. And there's a common theme on this album, a handful of the features where Aitch is really good at trading bars with guests. And I think because he has that Manchester accent, it really, it stands out versus, someone from West London or whatever. And I really enjoy Tests with AJ. If you think about the Aitch feature on the AJ album that we just got, also featuring Heady One, that was, kind of like a more of a mid-tempo track, but Test is just a hard banger. I mean, if AJ with his typical super tight flow, the beat is very tough. I love the way the flair of those keys as well. They go back and forth several times, and super cool. I mean, it feels like a one for me, one for him type thing with Aitch and AJ on each other's albums in consecutive weeks. Pretty cool. Obviously, they're both as big as they are in large part due to the success of Rain, which is an iconic UK rap song at this point. One of probably the best rap songs or UK rap songs of the last 10 years, right? Certainly one of the most popular ones. And I think Test is, worthy of that lineage and is really awesome. M40, you have a very noticeable Nas Life's a Bitch interpolation. That's a key aspect of the song. A bit more of a reflective track lyrically overall with this like wisdom sharing chorus from Aitch. Loud, I enjoyed the beat progression with this one. You have this like female like chant loop to its core, which I think is a pretty nice hook, the way it grabs you. Locked In, definitely a switch up, more of like a slower R&B. You get a lot of that Tamara feature. And Aitch, again, he's demonstrated an interest in making this type of track as well. Think, of course, the Ashanti flip he did, Baby, which ended up being a big hit from him off the last album. And this, of course, is also similar to the song Love featuring Anne Marie, same type of track. Pop It Off featuring Kenzo Straight Drop, definitely a drill-esque beat. I say drill-esque because I don't know if it's like completely drill, but like the gloominess certainly leans that way. And Kenzo, just a very aggressive flow. Again, a very nice contrast with Aitch. B4E, Please. How are you supposed to say that? B4E, that's clearly something else. Bay, Please? I don't know. I thought that one, really nice beat overall. Business, again, another nice back and forth between Aitch and the feature Avellino. I think that drum loop really grabs you. Straight Rhymes too, this is Aitch being his like rapidy rap self, fitting in a ton of bars, and of course, a sequence track at this point, the second song in the series. And I think these songs, both of the Straight Rhymes for that matter, they're fine. It's not necessarily my cup of tea to just listen to the lyrical gymnastics type thing. It's fine though, it's pretty good. And Room 44, kind of same thing. Again, like this is an Aitch album where it's like, I don't know if anything like super grabbed me, apart from the song with AJ, but also nothing really turned me off either. Like it's a really solid bass line like Aitch music. And he's a fun artist. People like him. And it makes sense. Let me know though, what'd you think of Aitch's third album 4? Let me know. And for more music reviews, more rap reviews, subscribe. I'll see you next time.